Aloha and welcome to our retreat session. Get ready to bust out your art supplies, tap into spirit, have some fun. I'm here with my friend, girl, creative artist, modern artist, mystic friend, Whitney. Aloha, Whitney.
Aloha, Amber.
We're hanging out. So excited to introduce Whitney and all the yumminess that's about to come your way. Materials list is below, but before we dive in, let's get present. Let's take a few breaths just to get here for this session together. So I invite you with me to close your eyes, and any lingering energies or things that have been going on that's on your mind, let's inhale in and exhale, release. Anything coming up in the future that you're thinking about that's pulling you away from this moment together. Inhale in, exhale, release. And taking a breath, smelling this moment together. And release. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes up so I can introduce you to our retreat guide today. Welcome to Whitney Freya. She is a modern day mystic and an expert in inspired living, providing practical tools and practices that free your mind from limitation and scarcity to create more in your life that lights you up from the inside out. So she's the author of 30 Days to Unstoppable, which we're going to find out about. She also the author of Be the Dream Made Visible and Rise Above, Free Your Mind One Brushstroke at a Time, and The Artist Within, a guide to becoming creatively fit. She is chief muse at WhitneyFreyaStudio.com. She leads online experiences to really help you expand your reality. She's got creatively fit coaches worldwide who are all about creating possibility for her people. She lives in Oregon, and she's either flying, which we were just talking about a second ago, her paraglider, or skiing around the mountains there, if she's not in the studio. So she's got her 3 kids off creating their own unstoppable dreams, including her daughter, who she was just flying with just recently. So you can find out more below. But today we are going to play together. So Whitney, welcome.
Hi, Amber. So good to see you and circle up again with your amazing tribe of creatives. Hello, everybody.
Yes, very excited to have you here. We've done lots of Whitney action before, but this time when we were hanging out, we were talking, we're like, okay, what do we want to create? And you just finished your book and it just came out. Congratulations on your book, baby.
Thank you. And thank you for your blurb in the book. Amber is in the front pages. Yay.
Oh, I love it. I love me some Whitney. So Whitney is, what I love about Whitney is she's part artist, but she's also like spirit. This is how I describe it. Which is me too. So it's like, oh, we have that connection piece. And but when we were speaking, part of what you're doing with your book, which I so love, is it's about creativity, but you're also using sacred geometry. You're connecting in to different energies and ways to like tap into more of that flow. And we were inspired. We're like, oh, let's tap into some of the work that you did in the book to help kind of anchor in to access something different. So do you want to share a little bit about like where are we flying today with you, Whitney? Where are we flying?
Yes, exactly. Well, so this book has been interesting because, I have, established a career teaching people how to develop their own sacred and personal painting practice. And the reason we want to have a sacred and personal painting practice isn't to create art as product. It is a modality. It's healing, it's energy work, it's prayer, it's intention. It's completely multidimensional, magical. But for me, the end game is you creating the art that is your life in a way that inspires you and lights you up, right? So it's all about taking what we learn at the canvas, going beyond the canvas, and allowing what you learn about yourself, the aspects of you that you get to know better or develop at the canvas, and allow them to play more in your life, so that you're overcoming fear. You're saying yes to things or taking action where in the past you've just gotten yourself stuck or stopped because there's a lot of unknown in the newness. And right now, as a human family, I think, Amber, I'm sure you've had this sense of destiny kind of feeling, like this is what we're all here preparing each other for, is for when our creative spirits are really going to need to take the lead, because creativity only knows hope and possibility, right? Like it can't exist with scarcity and doom and gloom and all of that. So we're being called way higher. And so 30 Days to Unstoppable is literally teaching I received after spending 20 hours in the dark. Like, I put on a mask inspired by the Celtic shamans who would spend 24 hours in the darkness and then write poetry, which was the magic, the medicine in that culture. And the poetry they wrote after spending 24 hours in the dark was deemed to be highly potent. And so I just wondered, what if you spent 24 hours in the dark and then painted? So I did that. And in the process of being in the dark, which I love the whole thing, like going into the darkness to see clearly kind of thing. What I got was literally teaching on how we can each learn to really, really care for ourselves as energetic vibrational beings. And in using the sacred geometry that is known as Metatron's cube as the yantra, as the symbol, the focal point to help us create a practice, a personal practice that can be anything from a long, juicy, delicious, 30-minute, 60-minute meditation to driving in the car, rushing, thinking about all these things you have to do, and just reclaiming your space and reality as a vibrational being. So it's just been really exciting. So today we are going to draw the sacred geometry that is Metatron's cube in kind of a fun cheater kind of way to make it a little more accessible. But I do have like a YouTube video that shows how to draw the flower of life, which is the base of Metatron's cube, and then Metatron's cube, if you guys want to get out your compass and pencil and all that, is super fun. But so this book is really more of a meditative journey. And I just finished recording it for Audible and audiobooks and different platforms and everything. So I'm really excited for people to listen to it as well. So here's the cool thing, connecting this to creativity as well. And we've all been kind of dancing in this realm a little bit, or getting called to it, but everything exists as energy before matter. It's just, that's science. And so what we're learning to do is both create, which another way of caring for ourselves, creating personal wellness in the energetic realms. By the time things manifest into your physical experience, whether it's a new job, getting fired from a job, a new exciting relationship, or a dis-ease in your body, there's been the energy of that experience has been lingering and around, circling, getting closer and closer. So what we're being called to do, myself included, is to pay attention to where we're focusing our attention, what energy we are nurturing, and understanding that the higher vibration of the energy that we're focusing upon and nurturing, the higher vibration we're going to be. And all we can control right now is ourselves. And the external world has to align in one way, shape, or form with your vibration. So if you're low vibration, you're going to be overwhelmed by the low vibration in the world right now. If you can nurture a high enough vibration, it doesn't mean, the shit isn't still hitting the fan out there, but you're able to look at it from a place of possibility. What are we learning? Why is this happening? It's like the forest fires clearing way for new growth. You're able to look at it from a place of creative possibility. And that is healthy and feels good. It feels way better than the other. And I was teaching this online to write the book, which is kind of how I write books, and was teaching this right before and during, like it started in last February 2020, March 2020, we all know the pandemic hit, and we all just looked at each other like how relevant this teaching is right now. So caring for yourself as a vibrational being is the name of the game. So what we're going to do today is we're going to draw Metatron's cube. What I have, and I think what Amber has, is a votive candle holder, because we want the circle to be the size that you can stack 5 on top of each other, like a 5-scoop ice cream cone on your paper. And I like as big as possible. So I have like a 9x12 sketchbook and a votive candle and some markers. Okay. So the reason we want to draw what we're talking about is because when you engage in this way where you're like symbolically creating into your reality what it is we're talking about, and just, you know, trying to get the circles lined up and draw the lines, you're integrating this teaching on a way deeper level. So this is why we draw. So if you want to pause and, you know, go get your supplies, or know that you'll do this sooner or do this later, then that's fine too. So I'm going to pick, actually, I'm going to do purple. Whatever color is speaking to you. I'm going to turn my camera down so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. And we're just going to trace your first circle in the center-ish of your paper. So don't worry about this being perfect or anything, right? So any of you that have a lovely perfectionist aspect of you, just ask her to take a deep breath and relax. And then we're going to draw a circle below and above. And we're attempting to have these, you know, like they would line up, the centers would line up. I can already see mine is a little off, but that's okay. Okay, so now we've got a triple scoop ice cream cone, right? And then we're going to do 2 more. So another one at the bottom, and then another one at the top. So then we have a 5-scoop ice cream cone, which I don't think I've ever seen a 5-scoop ice cream cone.
Oh my gosh, you're making me hungry. I'm like, that sounds really amazing.
In our creative imagination, 5 scoops is perfect. Okay, so now we have the 5 circles. So now you're going to go and nestle your votive candle. You can see I've got it nestled right in the opening there between the center circle and the top one. And so we're going to add that one there. And then it should fit perfectly nestled in between those 3. So what I love about sacred geometry, and Amber, I know you had mentioned that sacred geometry was coming up for you too. And a lot of us are just instantly attracted to sacred geometry. So now we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. Is that sacred geometry is how nature like grows. I mean, Mother Earth is growing, and you know, her rivers are meandering, her plants and trees are growing, all in this perfect design that is summarized by sacred geometry. So biologists and scientists, they all know sacred geometry. It's mathematical formula. And then it also has been found, like the flower of life has been found carved in ancient Egyptian temples from thousands of years ago. So it's got this mystical connection as well. So now I'm adding, we've got the center circle, and we've got 6 circles around the center, and then we're adding another circle on the end of these 4 circles that we just created. So now we've got diagonal 5-scoop ice cream scoops. So sacred geometry is this perfect union of kind of mysticism and science. And what I got in my meditation during that 20 hours in the dark was that sacred geometry provides this amazing bridge between our logical, linear left brain that's often referred to, the part of us that's fear-based, the part of us that sees ourselves as an ego, separate from everybody. And it's the part of us that wants the facts and the figures and like to know for sure. And then, so sacred geometry fits that because of its mathematicalness and, the science behind it. But then the magic of it lights up our right brain, which is the creative, intuitive side. And so the sacred geometry creates this bridge or a sense of unity. And that allows your left hemisphere to relax and not hold on so tight to how things should be or the process or if it's going to work out, and allows you to take one step at a time in the moment. So right now, we're just going to put a dot in the center of all these circles. So again, we're doing this kind of loosey-goosey style, so don't worry about it too much. But we're just going to put a dot. One of the things I love about actually drawing Metatron's cube with a compass is that it really becomes an exercise in centering. Like, are you in your center? What helps keep you in your center? What pulls you off? What do you do to get back in? It's a meditation just drawing this symbol. So once you have the centers, I do invite you to have a straight edge. I didn't mention that at the beginning, but you can always freehand it as well, which I can do. And I can already see my lines are a little, circles are not totally lined up, and that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a triangle so I'm kind of doing this. I don't know if this shows up right side up or upside down, but Metatron's cube, the foundation is recognizable perhaps as the Jewish star, the 6-pointed star. It's also like, this is a 2D version of the Merkaba, which is the two pyramids coming from above and below. So this is kind of all we need right now for this meditation. But if you do connect, let me just show you, like if you see this one on the book, this is the way when you look up Metatron's cube, you'll see it this way. And what's so cool about this is it's the center of all the circles connected. So if you just keep connecting the circles, you end up with the complete Metatron's cube that actually does have the pyramid, the two pyramids in there, like the Merkaba. So you can make it look more and more sacredly geometric. And you can connect these. You see how the lines kind of all fit together. And you're welcome. You may choose to play with this a little bit more. You could bring in some watercolors or colored pencils. And again, the more time you spend engaged in this symbol, the more it's going to speak to you. So this is what this teaching of caring for ourselves as vibrational beings, this is how this was shown to me. We are in the center of this design. And I drew it this way. So on my YouTube channel, I've been reading the chapters to the books out loud and then painting to the chapter. So if you look up Whitney Freya on YouTube, you'll see the 30 Days to Unstoppable audiobook. So this is one chapter, one kind of visual meditation on this. So you can see the 6-pointed star under here, Metatron's cube. And I visualize myself sitting at the base of the upright pyramid with my arms up and my fingers like open wide, touching the tips of the base of the downward facing pyramid. The Merkaba, this is traditionally a symbol of your energetic body. And then these are what are now referred to as the 6 spheres of wellness. And so we're going to go into the energies of these 6 spheres. And what I loved about playing with the watercolor that I was doing here is we know how watercolor kind of blends and bleeds when it's wet, but this is what our energy does as well. So when you walk into a space, the energy you're radiating mixes with those people around you, which is why in the book Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins, they discovered through their like a decade of kinesiology experiments that one person walking into a room at a high vibration raises the vibration on average of every single person. In fact, they say that even one person, you know, at a high vibration, like the Dalai Lama kind of vibration, counters, what's the word? Counteracts basically like a million people at a low vibration. So us taking care of our frequency, our energetic vibration is medicine for the world. It is like activism. You will make a difference just by being at a higher vibration. So this symbol and my book and the process and all of that are really here to create space for you to understand yourself as a vibrational energetic being, and then how you can be and focus on more of what you desire rather than the opposite. So again, imagine yourself in the middle. The 6 spheres of wellness, I imagine them like, you know, the orb in Wizard of Oz when Glinda the Good Witch appears in that pink orb that's like glowing and iridescent. That's what I imagine. These spheres of wellness are like spinning, spiraling around us at all times, like a gyroscope. And your goal and intention becomes to keep these 6 spheres of wellness full. So you want to be doing things, thinking things, speaking to things that are going to add to these 6 spheres of wellness. And literally the way I see it is if you're nurturing these 6 spheres, you don't have time to nurture the sphere of loneliness or hopelessness, right? Because you're busy on focusing on these. So let me go through each of the spheres, and then we'll see which version of the meditation I'm being called to. So the top one, of course, is love. And I was given these in this order that I'm sharing, and that's the way I wrote it down in the first way. And in the book, I go into the relationship between ones that are opposite and in the same triangle, and it's pretty mind-blowing. So there's a lot to unpack here. So the first sphere of wellness is love. The second one is compassion. Okay. The third is courage. Trying to do this so you guys can, not that you don't know these words very well. The bottom one is alignment. And then over here coming up is gratitude. And then the final one is presence. Okay, so one of the things I love about working with energy is, one thing is that like attracts like. Okay, so if you're focused on what you love, if you're focused on all that you're grateful for, even when you're feeling like, are you kidding me? I lost my job. I haven't been able to see my family in a year. You know, there's been a lot of hardship that people have endured lately. And if you can find things to be grateful for, you will attract more to be grateful for, because energy is such that like attracts like. The other thing is that energy doesn't have a hierarchy. So the love sphere can be filled up by you focusing on the things you love, everything from your hot cocoa that you enjoy, or your, you know, your favorite morning egg dish, to your lover, your children, your family, your best friends, you know what I mean? So love, whatever elicits the feeling of love. This morning was such a beautiful, sunny, cool, but warm morning. Like I loved it. And I consciously said to myself, like, oh, I love mornings like this. So a good way to gauge if these spheres, like how full they are, is if someone asked you, like, Whitney, Amber, what do you love right now? It'd be like, oh my gosh, okay, I love this, I love this, I love this. And if you're like, what do I love? Are you kidding me? Like, how about, let's talk about what I don't love right now. Remember, like attracts like. So this is a call to really focus on higher vibration, and it will help the things that are causing us the lower vibration. Compassion. The biggest teaching that came through with compassion is the importance of self-compassion first. Okay, we are so hard on ourselves. We're hard on ourselves. We're critical of ourselves, whether we're trying something new, whether we hit a speed bump in our lives or a roadblock or whatever. We are just so judgmental of ourselves. And so practicing self-compassion then makes it really easy to practice compassion for others. So that's huge. Courage. How do you feel connected to your courageous self? And again, this came up in another interview, the Abraham Hicks teaching that talks about reach for the next highest, closest emotion. So courage may not be, launching your paraglider off a mountain for you. Courage may be having a conversation with your child or your, colleague. Courage may be making pancakes for the family for dinner instead of their normal meat and potatoes, right? Because you feel like making pancakes. What is a little courageous thing? Painting your living room red, something that inspires that energy of courage, whatever feels closest. It could be telling everyone after dinner that you're taking a bubble bath and you won't be available for whatever you're normally available for, right? So how can you nurture and connect with that feeling of courage? Alignment. I love that alignment is right in alignment with love. That which you love is in alignment. And things that are not in alignment, we all have some big and little things we can want to be in denial about. I went through a divorce in 2012, and there were years where I knew that marriage was not in alignment, but I was scared to death to do anything about it. And so here's the thing with those big things in your life that aren't in alignment, you focus on what you love. Focus on what you're grateful for. Be courageous. Follow your heart. And when you honor these other things, that which is no longer in alignment has to kind of fall away, or, it will come up. You won't be able to avoid it. Or if there's a job that's not in alignment, you may find yourself downsized, or you may find another job comes up. So you don't have to worry about what do I do about the thing that's not in alignment. You just focus on all that is in alignment. And again, that can be making pancakes for dinner, having a bubble bath in the middle of the day, like whatever feels right and good for you, do that, and it will become easier and easier and easier. Then we have gratitude, which we all know very well. One of my favorite things that I learned from this process and the teaching I got was that we can send gratitude into our future as a manifesting tool. So if there's something that you want, a new job, find your soulmate, earn $1 million, whatever it is, imagine yourself there and imagine yourself expressing gratitude. I'm in my new studio here, and I use this for this. I looked out at my garage, that this was all such a nightmare, and I imagined myself literally saying how grateful I was for the contractors and grateful for the money as I wrote checks to them, and that all happened. So sending gratitude, like we can express gratitude for things in the past. So this is a call to express gratitude for things in the future. And then presence, because in the present moment, you don't have any baggage. You don't have to worry about the future. In the present moment, you can access from a place of love that which is in alignment. Presence is where we're able to really fully embody ourselves as infinite beings having a human experience, where you can kind of rise above the human fear-based predominant mentality and answer the call. So the becoming unstoppable is about understanding that right now, those things that you're receiving that are lighting you up, right, that feel in alignment are like what Liz Gilbert talked about, where ideas are circling around us all the times looking for hosts. So do we understand, do we believe, which I think we can all understand and kind of feel into, that there is and are so many solutions for our environmental issues, for our societal, political issues, for the challenges we have right now with race and discrimination and inequality. I mean, there's so many possibilities and solutions. And the only question is who is going to be the one to open and receive and put it into action? Little things, big things, it doesn't matter. It all adds to the sense of possibility and what we can create as humanity. So that is the really good news, right? So being unstoppable is understanding that when you get this call, again, whether it's to make pancakes, whether it's to write a book, whether it's to start a business, whatever it is, you are being given that dream. The universe wants to experience it through you. It's like we are human, like this meat suit and our skills and experiences as an individual are like the very tip of this marker, right? And all that's available, all that's connected to the very tip of this marker is the infinite, is the universe. And all you have to do is follow the guidance, make your mark. In another analogy that I love, and I've been out in the garden a lot, is when you're planting your garden, right? Like if you get tomato seeds and you plant those in the garden and you tend to them, they're going to grow into tomatoes, right? They don't need you to be like, okay, today you're going to grow those little yellow flowers. Here's what they look like, right? The seed has everything it needs to become a tomato, which completely blows me away. I've been planting seeds lately. I'm like, how is this going to turn into these huge zucchini? But anyway, the seed has everything it needs. So when you get that idea, that aha, that's the seed. It has everything it needs to come to fruition and be experienced by you and however many others in this physical reality. It simply needs you to be the gardener. So the seed left in the little envelope isn't going to get you tomatoes, right? You got to take it out of the packet. You've got to till and weed the soil. You've got to bury it in the soil. It's got to spend time in the dark. It's got to get wet. It's got to get so much sun. And then you might have to weed, you might have to water, right? So it needs you, but it has inherently everything it needs to come to fruition. You don't have to wonder if the tomato seed's going to forget. Right? So that's how you become unstoppable. When you realize that when you are nurturing a high vibration, you're given an idea that lights you up. That's the universe saying, hey, we want to see this. We want to experience this in your physical reality. And we need you down there to make this real. And as women, this is why the Dalai Lama has always said, the Western woman is going to save the world, because women are the energy, the feminine is the energy of opening and receiving and creating new life. Okay. So your ideas, your dreams, whatever you're getting, that's like, oh God, wouldn't that be amazing? Right. And you feel the energy, stay present. What's present moment action you can do right now? Okay, so this is what I want to do. How much time do we have, Amber?
Like maybe 10 more minutes.
Okay. Okay. So here's what I want to. Here's what I'm getting for all of us in this group is to connect to this energy of presence and present moment action. So I invite you to close your eyes and feel yourself sitting securely on Mother Earth. And imagine the upward facing triangle below you, right, on the ground, and the tip of the pyramid pointing up to the sky. So feel yourself as a physical being. Feel yourself heavy. Feel yourself grounded and rooted in Mother Earth. And then you can imagine that you're lifting your arms up, stretching high and sticking your fingers out and like tickling the corners of the downward facing triangle. So you're open and receptive, and just feel that openness. Even if you're not actually reaching out your arms, maybe you just put your shoulders back a little bit and allow your heart chakra to open. and feel yourself open to possibility just right now. Open to things being different, open to newness coming into your life, open to feeling that sense of like, oh, I did it. It's happening, like it's working, right? So feel yourself in that space. So this space is you as the union of earth and light, the cosmos, matter and light, the physical and the non-physical. You are both of these things. You are the union. And then I want you to connect to anything that you've wanted to do or that you want to do, like this summer or this winter, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. What's an idea that you'd like to take some steps? Maybe it's learning something new. Maybe you want to learn knots. That's come up in my world a little bit. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to get into poetry. Maybe you want to reconnect with a friend. Maybe you want to start painting. What is it that you want to do? Maybe you want to create a website. Maybe you want to take horseback riding lessons. So pick one thing. It could be something really simple that even you could do today, but that you might not do it today because you've been meaning to do it for a while. But pick one thing that you want to do, that you want to experience. Maybe it's a trip you want to take. Okay. So we're going to interact with the sphere of presence here. So what happens a lot is that we get these ideas, these desires, the seeds, right? And we see in a moment, we can feel into the fruition, the energy of the fruition of this vision, whatever it is, little or big. And we're like, oh, that would be so awesome. I want to do that. I want to experience that. And then usually within, whether it's the next thought, the next hour, we get ahead of ourselves. So it's like we want to climb to the top of the mountain, but we're not sure how we're going to get up that steep part at the very, very top of the mountain. So we never even take the first step at the trailhead at the bottom of the mountain. So presence is asking you right now, what can you do right now that is in alignment with this dream that you want to create into your reality? What is the very next thing? So say you're climbing a mountain, you want to climb a mountain, and you think, okay, well, the very next thing is, to take a step. But maybe even go back, like, do you have your hiking shoes on? Do you have a trail map? Or imagine that you want to paint something. Maybe there's something that you've wanted to paint for a long time. The first step, the present moment step, might be just unwrapping the canvas. You don't even have to think about how you're going to paint the thing you want to paint, if you know the shading or how to paint eyes or whatever. You just unwrap the canvas. Get a container of water, brushes and paints. So what is the unstoppable dream you're being called to? What idea that has been swirling around you, knocking on the door, is ready for you to open the door and allow it to come through you? And what is the very next step you can take? And here's a fun tip. This next step is going to seem so easy. It's going to feel so easy. And this is why we often overlook it. We're like, oh yeah, I can unwrap the canvas and get the paints out in the water, but I don't know how to paint a face. Okay. You can't paint a face on anything if you don't have the thing you're painting on and the paint and the water and all those things, right? So the very next step, and then the next step and the next step. And if it feels like, okay, well, but before I do that, I've got to do that, or I don't know, okay, there's something even sooner that you could do. Maybe it's just Googling something or calling someone Or maybe it's calling someone, but you don't have their number. So it's texting your friend that has their number, looking it up online. You see what I mean? The very, very next step. So breathe this energy of presence into your heart. The universe wants to guide you and support you and nurture you. And the world is changing so much, and so much can change depending on which steps, which action you take in just the next moments, that all the universe knows is what to call you to right now. And too often we don't take those present moment steps. We think, oh, that's easy. I'll do that when I'm ready, but I got to figure this out. And what the universe is saying, your unstoppable self is saying, trust us, unwrap the canvas first, order the canvas first, take it one step at a time. And when you do, each time the very next step will be shown. But you can't get to step 20 from step 1. And too often we're trying to figure out and control step 20 when just step 1 is what's right in front of us, so easy. And then step 2 will be just as easy. And by the time you get to step 19, then step 20 will be clear and accessible and within reach and feel comfortable. And you will take that 20th step. So presence, nurturing your sphere of presence. We can be present when we're doing dishes. Breathe in and just feel the water. We can be present when we are doing our yoga practice, when we are drawing or painting. Practice feeling into the present moment. Celebrate that point in space-time when you witness yourself sans the to-do list, without the worries rippling through your awareness, when you are completely present. What's it going to take? So a perfect example today, what can you do to connect to this feeling, this energy of presence? And what's the very first thing you could do? Look on your calendar, your schedule for the day, or think about it and pick a time to just sit under a tree or put on some beautiful music on your headset and sit in your room. The more you nurture the sphere of presence, the easier it is to call on. And you'll see presence is directly diagonal to, connected to the energy of courage. So when you're in that present moment, it's so much easier to follow your heart, because the present moment is love-based, not fear-based. And courage is the act of following your heart. Your unstoppable self, your dream that is waiting to become visible through you, will not be created into this reality logically. Life doesn't proceed on a linear pattern. We all know this now, if we didn't know it before. So nurture presence to be able to take more courageous present moment action that's in alignment with what you love, practicing self-compassion and sending gratitude into your future. You are unstoppable. You are unstoppable. You are unstoppable. So bring yourself back into your feeling body. Breathe, inhale, fill your heart up, and exhale completely. And when you're ready, open your eyes. I love every time I get to share something different comes through. And I can't wait to hear from you listening, like what idea, dream came to you and what action you took, so simple, just right now today, that has got you even more inspired and the next step available. Like, please share that with me on the Facebook group.
Yes, we'd like to see, just you can click the link below to see, just head on over and share your dream, the action you're taking, the small, simple, baby step forward into flight. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Whitney. Oh, so many nuggets. And I geek out on drawing sacred geometry. I could be like, I get so interested. Thank you for like bringing it. Yeah, exactly. Totally. If you're like, oh, this is yummy. I want more of this. I want more Whitney. I want more of the unstoppable. I know you have a free gift for our ladies. Can you share more?
Yeah, absolutely. So I created a course called Your Magical Creative Awareness to create a space for you to just really objectively, in a super fun way, get to know your creative style and to be able to identify from a place of self-compassion where you tend to get stuck. We all do it. We all have like the parts of the creative process that just light us up and get us so energized. And then we all have the things that slow us down, that cause us to believe that something isn't within our reach, or we don't have this thing accessible to us. And so your magical creative awareness takes you on a journey through the chakras, through sacred symbols, through affirmations and intentions to help you connect your special stoppableness with a chakra and then a statement and a sacred symbol. And we paint a painting, just starting with writing, playing with color, and then creating the symbol that will serve as an anchor for you to begin to really neutralize that stopping point so that you can become even more unstoppable. So it's very fun. We paint with acrylics, and it's a very cool little paradigm. Yeah.
Right here, just click right here and you can go ahead and access that. I love that you have like, it's like the antidote, like, the venom that stops us. And you got the antidote that keeps them moving. So if you'd like some of that, if you've ever in any creative process that you're needing some more of that flow, check it out. Whitney, thank you. Thank you for sharing your magic.
Love you so much. And you all are amazing. Oh, so excited to be here.
All right, friends, we'll see you at our next session.